Hi, and welcome to the Funky Fresh Comic Show, where I'm Funky Fresh,
And I'm amateur specialist, baby.
and we're going to be talking all things comic book movies, TV, and video games. How's
Yes.
it going, man?
It's
It's
going
been a
alright.
while.
Yeah, dude.
It's been a fucking month.
Yeah. Listen, that was my bad. Been
God,
working.
I'm not chastising you for that, bro. You're
No,
getting your
no,
money
no.
up. I can't be angry.
You know.
Yeah, you're just chilling.
Yeah,
Fine.
man.
Yeah, nah. Um, so just jumping right into it before, we'll just
Yes.
cut the fat quickly.
Yes.
The Bat,
Yes. Mm.
so good.
It was amazing. I loved it.
It was I don't feel like I can put how I feel about that movie into words. It was so good.
Yeah, it was incredible. Like it
Like,
was goosebumps.
Dude, it just really it's one of
Yeah.
those movies where you'll be sitting thinking about it like 2 days after and you'll be like, fuck, that was good.
Yeah.
It's just like the cinematography is amazing. I think
Beautiful.
that Matt Reeves was the perfect choice to direct this film because it feels like he very firmly had an idea of the character and what he wanted to do, and he just nailed it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Even with sorry, you first. My bad.
I was gonna say props to Robert Pattinson. I love that man. He's been he's done some good roles.
He nailed it. What's even crazier about it is he's been doing interviews and stuff. He very clearly has a love for the character. Him and the guy that played the Riddler, Paul Dano, they were talking in I think one of those Reddit I can't remember what the YouTube channel is that does it, but they were breaking down theories from Reddit with the whole cast. And him and Paul Dano were just talking about their favorite comic runs, talking about shit like the Court of Owls. It was awesome. I think the best move to do is to cast someone that loves the character in any scenario where you're casting for a comic book movie. And Matt Reeves just fucking nailed it casting him. Honestly, he's the best Batman, hands down.
He is. He is.
I like a lot of the Batmen, including Ben Affleck, even though I have a problem with him fucking murdering people.
Yes.
But Robert Pattinson just takes it. I love the Arkham games. Those are my favorite versions of Batman.
Yeah.
This dude is the closest that has ever been to being in live action. That's how good he is.
He's incredible.
It's just a pure expression of what the character is and represents.
Yeah.
It's an amazing film. We can't recommend it enough to the people that are listening right now. Thank you for being here, first of all. The first episode actually did relatively well. We
appreciate it. Yeah.
But I can't recommend enough. Watch the movie. Go see it if you can.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's so good.
Yeah. The only complaint that I've heard about it is that people are like, "Where's Playboy Bruce Wayne?" And I'm like, "Bro,
really don't need Playboy Bruce Wayne.
No, if you want that, bro, if you want that, go watch Iron Man."
Well, I don't think that. I feel like the whole point of this movie is Bruce learning that Batman needs to be more and him learning that he can't just completely retreat into that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel if we're going to see Playboy Bruce or a Bruce Wayne persona he usually puts on in other media, we'll see it if there's a sequel to this, which there 100% probably will be. This movie's doing incredibly well. Yeah. If there's a sequel to this, we'll probably see that. I hope they don't do the Playboy Bruce Wayne persona and that he's a very common thing about that is he just he dates hella women as Bruce Wayne and just leaves him behind. I feel like that's an outdated trope that he shouldn't follow. Yeah. But they'll probably do it anyways just because people like that. But I don't know. I find it kind of problematic, but not in a Batman is a terrible character. Just in there's other ways for him to be like portray that he's like an idiot in as his Bruce Wayne persona.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably the best usage of that Bruce Wayne persona was I want to say in the Arkham games where he's like all like he's kind of like a pompous like like even at the beginning of Arkham City. Here's a good example. I
Mhm.
think he's like walking to a press conference before he gets arrested and thrown into Arkham City, and Vicky Vale calls him a millionaire, and then he walks past and he's like, "It's billionaire actually, Vicky. Millionaires are so last year." Like that's a funny like dumb rich person joke.
Yeah.
That's like the Bruce Wayne equivalent of that shit Kim Kardashian said the other day.
Oh my gosh,
I
bro!
can't.
I saw that.
That is the most rich person shit I've ever seen. I know this isn't comic book related, but like
No, but it was
how
so
ignorant do
stupid.
you have to be, bro?
Yeah.
Get your fucking ass up and work. No, you're rich. You're born into a rich family. You're the last person anyone wants to hear this from. It's also
Yeah.
funny that like all of her old employees have come out and said how shitty of a working environment working for her is, which is
Surprise.
like she can't
Yeah.
recover from this, really. I mean, the Kardashians have said and done worse things, but like
Uh, yeah.
it, for real, like it beats out that Kendall Jenner Pepsi commercial by like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. That was when was that?
That was years ago. I actually
Jesus.
rewatched it recently
Yeah.
because of the trailer for season 3 of The Boys came out recently.
Really?
Uh,
Wait.
yeah,
What?
yeah, you didn't see it?
I did not.
Um,
God damn it.
Sorry, no, I just it came out recently, and A Train in the trailer
Mhm.
is promoting an energy drink, and he runs into the middle of like a crowd of protesters is on his left, and a crowd of cops is on his right, and he
Yeah.
just cracks open his energy drink, and it's they're just calling Kendall Jenner an idiot, which I appreciate because she is. Like
That's
you can't.
funny.
No one's that tone deaf
Yeah.
unless you're rich. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, how did we went from Batman to making fun of the Kardashians? This
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no. In summary of the Batman stuff, go watch it. It's great. There's
Incredible.
something in that movie that everybody will like.
Yeah.
Uh, I think it's like a noir, slow burn detective movie.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's literally like I feel like if they didn't do this, they would have done basically the Long Halloween.
Mm.
Like either one would have worked.
Yeah.
It's just it's such a again, I can't really put how I feel about the movie into words. It's so good. As a fan of
It's
Batman
insane.
who watched Zack Snyder just make like edgelord like fan fiction about him, which I
Mm.
appreciate the Snyder cut. I appreciate some aspects of Batman versus Superman, but like you can't deny that like Zack Snyder has a fundamental misunderstanding of the characters that he is doing in those films. Um and that's nothing like I'm not saying like he's a terrible filmmaker or whatever, you know.
Mhm.
Like I'm not saying anything about him as a person. Like just like I really though, if you watch the warehouse fight scene from Batman versus Superman by itself, you'd enjoy it. But if you watch the whole movie and you're watching him just straight up cap people for
Yeah.
the whole thing, and you're like a hardcore Batman fan, like let's say you grew up playing the Arkham games or you watch like Batman the animated series or something like that, you'd be like, well, is this even really Batman? And I don't say that in the sense of like I don't like Ben Affleck or that I like again like I don't like Zack Snyder. I just don't like his take on that character. I just wish it was
Yeah.
better. To his credit, though, Batman doesn't kill a single human for all of his cut of Justice League. So that's pretty good. Aliens, however, kills mad parademons in that movie. But that's besides the point. In summary, Batman, go watch it.
Incredible.
You'll love it. If you're a fan of anything Batman, you'll find something to enjoy in it.
Yeah, it's actually, even though despite it being gritty as well, like there are some funny scenes. Like there's at one point the freaking Riddler. This is not a spoiler, but he's like Instagram living with like Batman. It's so funny, dude.
God, that was for the most part, the memes I've seen about this film have been about the Riddler, which is really funny because in the whole movie, first of all, they turned him into a terrifying villain. He's this fucking like Zodiac style serial killer.
Yeah.
In this film, it's great. Paul Dano plays him masterfully.
Yeah.
But all of the, like, I think the funniest one that I've seen, I think I sent it to you, was one where they just brought back the Ali Amy from a couple years ago. Of his fucking intro bass boosted. It's so good. I just like the fact that Riddler, because he had 500 followers on, I guess, Instagram, was like, yeah, I'm gonna murder city officials. I think that's the move for me.
Yeah.
It was great.
He had loyal followers too, though. Goddamn.
Yeah, nah. Without getting into spoilers, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Shit was crazy. Anyways, now that we have probably the biggest thing on the list out.
Yeah.
Let's get into some, rumors and other stuff that's been going on recently. So, I've been seeing on Twitter, which, like, Twitter isn't the most reliable source, so, like, take this with a grain of salt. But, I've been noticing that people were talking about, little rumblings of, there was a Wolverine Disney Plus series that they completely finished the script for, but they, like, threw it out and were rewriting it. And, me personally, my idea for if I was doing that would be, like, I wouldn't make it about Logan, but not because I don't like the character of Logan, because, like, I feel like it would be more interesting to have a mystery surrounding him.
Yeah.
In the sense of, like, he doesn't know who he is, right? But I kind of wanted to take that idea and twist it in, like, a people are looking for him kind of way. But not in a way where it's like Wolverine's absent for a show about Wolverine. My idea was you get his quote-unquote children from the comics to be the protagonists of the series. And what I mean by that is, like, you have either Jimmy Hudson, who is his son from the Ultimate Comics, who has the same power set as him, just like, instead of, like, having adamantium coated bones, his bones are like how Colossus's skin can turn to, like, an organic metal. He can do that with his bones. Which is a very interesting part of his character. His healing factor is as good as Logan's, and, like, he has the same, like, claw placement as that he does.
Yeah.
I was thinking either him or the most recent Wolverine of the comics that isn't Logan, his X-23, his clone, Laura Kinney, who, like, from, like, she showed up in a movie already. She was in Logan. She was portrayed by Daphne Keane.
Yeah.
I hope she shows up, but at the same time, I don't want her to be played by Daphne Keane again. I think you should go with someone older that could, like, reliably keep doing this stuff. I think Laura is more interesting because Laura, if you did her as the protagonist of a show like that, of a Wolverine series, part of the journey of her figuring out who he is figuring out who she is, because he'd be the template for her whole, like, being, So I think there's an interesting avenue to explore there if they did it that way, which, like, obviously, like, I feel like the most profitable thing they would do is just make it about Logan, which brings me to another thing surrounding this that me and amateur specialist talked about before this. So there have been heavy rumors about Marvel Studios and Disney in general looking to Daniel Radcliffe to portray Wolverine, which like I don't think is out of his acting abilities. Like I know he was Harry Potter. However, he's done countless other films since then that could prove he could be, like a serious or like more adult themed actor.
Oh yeah.
He did the movie Horns a couple years ago. While the critical reception on that movie wasn't that great, I think his performance in it was good. I think his performance in most things he's in is actually quite good.
Yeah.
He did Swiss Army Man most recently,
Yeah.
Guns Akimbo, which we also talked about like
Yeah.
like yesterday.
Yeah.
We were hanging
Interesting.
out. We were hanging out. I looked to a specialist and he brought it up just in passing. About Guns Akimbo. And I
Yeah.
told him about like he was talking about a scene in the movie where if this is like too inappropriate for you, I apologize. But
Nah, fuck him. Fuck him.
you can't say that. Nah,
Sorry,
okay.
sorry.
Anyways, if this is too inappropriate for you, I apologize. But like
Yes,
he scene in the film
I
where
apologize as well.
he's trying to use the washroom. He's trying to pee and he can't because he had guns on his hands.
Yeah.
And he said that to me, and then I had to explain to him, like, yeah, they're bolted to his fucking hands. He can't put them down.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, interesting concept.
yeah, it's
Sounds
weird.
cool.
It's like apparently a super hardcore film. I want to watch it. I just like, ugh, I haven't set aside the time to yet.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think because he's done more serious acting since then, and like we know he has the acting chops to pull something like that off. I think it would be good. But even he was approached about it at South by Southwest, like by an interviewer.
Yep.
And he was like, "Well, I haven't heard anything. I don't think Marvel would go from Hugh Jackman to me." But he like at the end of that was like, "Prove me wrong. I'd love to do it."
Yeah.
Which like I hope he gets it. I've never thought about that before.
Neither have I. I would be interested to see how he would do it.
My top picks for Wolverine would have been like, Taron Egerton's name has been thrown around a lot, which he could do it, but I don't know if I'd want him to.
Yeah.
Anthony Starr, the guy that plays Homelander on The Boys, his name was thrown around. Carl Urban, the guy that plays Billy Butcher on The Boys, his name was also thrown in the ring, which like I feel is unlikely because he was Scourge in Thor: The Dark World, but like you never know. I mean, they did the same thing with Gemma Chan. Gemma Chan was in Captain Marvel as Minerva, and then she was Cersei in Eternals, so like they could repurpose him. Only thing is, like he would like they didn't do anything to his face in Thor, so if they did cast him, it would be like, why is Scourge alive again, and why is he Canadian?
Yeah.
And then Mel Gibson's son, I think, was also a name like a lot of people wanted because Mel Gibson was considered for Wolverine back in the day when Hugh Jackman was getting cast, and then they went with him.
Oh, damn.
I think Wolverine is a very interesting character. I've seen a lot of discourse over them giving Wolverine a show. But like literally, like I hate to say this, but like even the most popular MCU characters right now, like save for Spider-Man, because Spider-Man has always been popular. They were like, if we're being honest, like if you didn't read comics, you like the general public would not know who they were.
No.
Save for like maybe Captain America or Thor or like the Hulk even. Like the biggest characters at Marvel prior to the MCU were probably like the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, the Hulk, like characters like that.
Yeah.
Which is not to say that the Avengers don't deserve like acclaim and everything, because they do. I love those films.
Yeah.
But it's like Wolverine is a character that sells. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he he is the flagship X-Men character, and he has been since the films. But like
Hmm.
even prior to that, he was probably one of the most popular ones introduced in the lineup of X-Men that he was introduced in. Because when he was introduced, it was like him, Colossus, Storm, Nightcrawler, and I think Banshee.
Yeah.
Um, and it was like an all new lineup of X-Men that like Professor Xavier recruited to save the first class of X-Men from I think Krakoa or something. And it was like something new that they hadn't done before, and it paid off because most of those characters are some of the most popular X-Men characters ever.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's what they probably want to do with this series, because I haven't heard anything about development on an X-Men movie other than like it's happening and that the title might be The Mutants, which I think is like a cop out.
Mm,
Should be called The X-Men, if we're
yeah.
being honest. I'm not saying that in a way of like, yeah, it doesn't have men in the title. What a stupid situation. Like I'm not saying that in a neckbeardy way. I just think that like
No. Yeah.
while the term X-Men doesn't refer to everybody in on the team that comes from all different walks of life and they're all different orientations and genders and everything.
Yeah.
I still think because they are effectively like the students and proteges of Professor Charles Xavier, they should be called the X-Men. I just feel like that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Um anyways, yeah, no, like just Wolverine as a Disney Plus show I don't think is a bad move. I think that they want to capitalize on the popularity of that character
Yep.
immediately so that when an X-Men movie does come around, people are already primed and waiting for it. That's
Yeah.
probably the same
Exactly.
mentality behind like breaking into a little bit of video game news, even though there hasn't really been any developments on it.
Hmm.
Uh, or like new information coming out about it. That's probably the same mentality Insomniac had when they picked Wolverine to make a game about, because they announced a Wolverine game
Mm.
last year when they announced Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
They announced that first. I remember watching the state of play that it was announced at and thinking it was going to be Spider-Man 2. And then out of nowhere, I saw some 5'4" dude in a bar, and I was like, "There's no fucking way."
I remember seeing that and being like, you're joking. Like,
I'm so excited for that game to come out because one, I trust
oh yeah.
Insomniac to develop anything. They've probably the best devs working under PlayStation right now. Um, and two, like Wolverine has not had a major game to himself at least since X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Mm. Yeah, it'd be sweet.
All the leaks I've heard about it, are things that would interest me. Like that it'll be like linear. Well, not linear, but like there'll be kind of big areas to explore, not in an open world sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would function like God of War does, is what I've heard.
Oh, I see.
It might be set in either Canada or Madripoor.
Yeah.
So like Madripoor is a location that's like synonymous with Wolverine in the comics. So
Yeah.
uh, I'd be really excited to see one Insomniac's take on that, because Insomniac makes their environments insanely immersive. Like everybody's, I feel like most people that like comics at some point have played Marvel Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Their version of New York is crazy.
Yeah.
It's so good. Um, Save for like Spider-Man Miles Morales, and the only reason I say that is because they lost the rights to the Chrysler building, so it's just gone. But like it's still pretty good. Like it's
Yeah.
their environments are insane in those games, and I am excited to see their take on those things.
Me as well. it'd be because I mean, What If was really good. Like every show that Marvel has put out on Disney Plus has been like pretty much fire.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Wolverine would be sweet.
I think it depends on the writing team that will make it good. Because What If,
Yeah.
even though it was like it's good, and I think it was like a very visually interesting show. I think the strongest Disney Plus show that they've released so far, it's between I teeter between saying like either Falcon the Winter Soldier or WandaVision.
Yeah.
The only reason I don't say something like Loki is solely because Loki, I can't really judge the whole of Loki properly because they split what was supposed to be one season into two. That's why the first 6 episodes.
Yeah.
So like I kind of want to judge it on the whole narrative before I give like a definitive like yeah, this is the best show or this is the best show. But right now for me it's between those two.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to lean more into like Falcon and the Winter Soldier though. More because I feel like the story of Falcon and the Winter Soldier is more accessible to everyone because it feels more grounded than like Wanda dealing with her trauma by like creating this hex that makes everyone get put in sitcom scenarios.
Yeah.
And again, that's not to say it's a bad show because I quite enjoy WandaVision. It's just like,
Yeah.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier feels more tangible.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I hope that Wolverine show does come out. I would be excited to watch it. I don't know who they would cast to be him, but I also think Wolverine is a character that has a very rich history. So like doing that in a movie is a bit more difficult than doing that in a show.
Yeah.
Because in a movie you have like a set amount of time. In a show you could have it like you could have a one concise narrative over like maybe like 8 hours or something like that, and it's crazy. You can fit way more into that, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I hope that comes out.
Me as well.
Now that we're talking about things that have been successful, let's talk about something that's gonna fucking fall flat on its face. Morbius.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm of the opinion that someone in Jared Leto's entourage or whatever he'd describe it as, because he's a hippie, needs to tell him no. He needs to stop doing superhero roles. Like, please.
Yeah.
Or like comic book roles. I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I'm saying when he does things in this genre of science fiction, it never works out.
No,
I will say, apparently the stuff with his Joker and Suicide Squad wasn't his fault. Like, yeah, he was fucking weird, but like apparently the studio cut a lot of his footage. So maybe he was great, but from what we got, nope.
No.
Foul.
No. Yeah.
The only good Jared Leto Joker scene is from Zack Snyder's Justice League, and that's something that hasn't even happened, really. Like, it's not something we can actually judge his performance on, because realistically, that was from like a dream sequence Batman has, so it didn't even happen.
Yeah.
Still, he's bad. Like, he's just a weirdo that likes to sit on floors that have knives surrounding him in those films. And coming to Morbius, like what they couldn't have cast anyone else?
I don't know, man. Maybe
Morbius is a character that like you need to portray with like almost deep tragedy.
Yeah.
And they picked Jared Leto. Yeah. Like, I don't know, maybe the movie will come out and it'll be fucking insane. Who knows? Yeah, but from what I've seen, no.
Yeah. No, it doesn't look great.
They're also trying to do that whole like Sony, for whatever reason, is still trying to build the Sinister Six, even though they don't really have a Spider-Man in their films anymore. Unless, like, from what I've heard, there's a rumor that Andrew Garfield has been spotted by the set of Morbius for reshoots. And while I love Andrew as Spider-Man, I don't think putting him in that movie is gonna prop it up in any way.
Yeah, I don't want him to be associated with that movie, especially if
I'm
it's
fine with
not.
him being associated with Tom Hardy's Venom, but apparently that guy also
Yeah.
exists in the Morbius universe because there's a part in the trailer where some guy's like, "What are you?" And he goes, "I am Venom," and he snarls at him and changes his face all vampire-like, and then he goes, "Just kidding, I'm Dr. Michael Morbius." Why do you know who he is? You're in New York. He's in San Francisco.
All right.
I doubt Venom has stopped for interviews and been like, "Actually, I'm Venom. We're the lethal protector." Makes no sense.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
I
We'll
even
see.
saw on Twitter some dude was booking a seat there, and there was nobody booked for the showing of that movie.
Oh,
Like, absolutely fucking no one.
no.
It's led me to be like, fuck, maybe I should go see it just to see if it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe me and Specialist will go sometime.
Yeah. Well, I hope it proves me. Like, I hope it proves us wrong. You know, maybe it'll be amazing, but
I hope it's actually good because Michael Morbius
yeah.
is a character from Spider-Man's lore that I quite like. I think he's very interesting.
Yeah.
But if this movie makes it like weird Jared Leto like edgelord shit,
Yeah.
not gonna care about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I also feel like if you're gonna build up a Sinister Six for Spider-Man, don't make one of the characters an anti-hero routinely in the comics.
Yeah.
Like, you know who could have had a more interesting movie made? You know what movie they should have moved up instead of doing this? The Craven one. The cast of that and like the actor cast for him is great. They cast Aaron Taylor Johnson. He's a good actor.
Oh.
I'm infinitely more excited. I'm more excited for that than I am for this, and I don't know anything about that movie so far other than Aaron Taylor Johnson is Craven. They cast Calypso the other day, but I can't remember the actress's name, and I think they might have cast the Chameleon, and that's it. Like Craven's infinitely more interesting. Give me a like a Rhino movie. Haven't had one of those, huh?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Uh, yeah. No. Overall, not too hyped, but we'll see. We'll see.
Neither of us are. I hope that it's good just because like I like the character, but also like I don't when it comes to comic book movies I don't like Jared Leto, so
No.
We'll see.
Mm-mm.
We'll see. Talking about another thing that we'll see about. So the trailer for Miss Marvel came out today. I don't want to get too heavily into it, but my general thoughts, because Specialist hasn't seen the footage yet.
Yeah, I have not.
I watched it when I woke up today. I don't like the direction they're going with the character. It feels like they're erasing a lot of the stuff that was like core to her and just injecting it with new stuff to. I think their whole thing is they're like, well, we need to differentiate her from Mr. Fantastic. And just quickly, if you didn't know, instead of having Kamala's like stretching and embiggening powers from the comics, she can do like hard light constructs like Green Lantern essentially. And I feel like their whole reasoning is like, well, we can't have two characters that stretch because they're going to do Mr. Fantastic soon. And my whole thing is like, how many characters do you guys have that like shoot lasers and fly or like do magic?
Yeah, honestly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not. Also, Kamala and Reed's powers are different from each other. Reed can only stretch. Kamala can shrink and grow. Like, she could be like 30 feet tall if she wanted.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's ways to differentiate them. Just even in the comics, like you can like having them be in the same panel or something wouldn't be fucking weird. So I see that and I'm like, that's a cop out. You just want her to be different from the white guy, if we're being honest.
Yeah. I like I said, I haven't watched it, but from what you've told me before we started this,
Yeah.
I'm not too excited, but we'll see. Hey,
For leaks, it's been indicated that like her powers come from like an artifact that used to belong to a djinn, which is a form of a genie. And I
Yeah.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be talking from like an ignorant standpoint, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's offensive to her as like a Muslim. I'm
Yeah.
fairly certain it is.
Yeah. Yo, can we cut this out real quick?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, my God damn it, someone's calling me.
Okay,
I'll be as quick as I can, but we're gonna have to cut this.
no problem. Don't worry about it.
Are you just gonna keep recording or what?
I can keep talking about the Miss Marvel stuff.
I
Um,
just yeah. I'll be right back.
uh, just for context, Specialist is stepping away for a second. I'm just gonna keep talking for a little bit. Yeah, no, I feel like cutting out her embiggening like polymorph powers and like also erasing her being inhuman is like a really big mistake, because her whole arc when she first gets her powers is realizing that like she can be different and still be a hero, you know. It's even highlighted in when she first goes through the process that Inhumans go through to get their powers is called Terrigenesis, where they're exposed to vapors from Terrigen crystals, and they I think, I don't know if this happens in the comics, but it happened in Agents of Shield. I don't keep too much up on their lore. Like, I know who the Inhuman royal family is, but that's besides the point. She goes through Terrigenesis, and then when she comes out of that, she turns into Miss Marvel. Like, but not like Miss Marvel in the sense of her being Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel and Carol Danvers' old Miss Marvel persona. So she turns into like a white blonde lady wearing her black and yellow costume with the red sash. And she's like, this isn't me. This isn't who I want to be if I have powers. And her whole arc in the comics, I feel, deals with like her being a Pakistani girl, like practicing Muslim, which goes against like the norm of like comic book stuff, because most comic book characters are like, let's be honest, like straight white dudes. Um, she realizes that, like, she needs to go against that and be herself in this space that's dominated by people that aren't like her. And it's like very powerful for like anybody of color to see, especially young girls that could fall into the same demographic that she does. Like, and it feels like they're still playing into that, but they're like kind of taking away some of the things that like matter from that comic, and it's like really shitty. There's a bunch of other stuff surrounding that I could get into, but it would take like a long time to go through all the leaks I've heard about that show that are kind of troubling. I feel like I'll still watch it because like it takes a village to make those things. So it's like, you know, I got to support the work of like, it's not Iman Vellani's fault that they're doing any of this shit. The actress that's playing Captain Marvel. I hope to, or Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel. I hope to see more of her in the MCU. Um, yeah, no, I just like, I just feel like that show already kind of has me hesitant to consume it, but at the same time, like I said, it takes a village to make that stuff. And you're supporting the work of everyone who wasn't involved in the bad decisions when you watch it, even though you kind of are supporting the people that are making the bad decisions, but at the same time it's like the like working class dude that was like setting up lights and stuff, and like Iman Vellani who's just reading the lines they gave her didn't do this. It's like the producers and the showrunners that were like, yeah, this is actually a good idea. Let's make her a genie. Like, nah. I don't know. I feel like the good thing I'll say about it is they nailed the tone of the character. I feel like she feels like Kamala, but like everything else about her just kind of seems odd or like off. You know what I'm saying? That's all I have to say about that for now. If more comes out about it in the coming weeks, you know, I'll talk about it again on the show or maybe like in a separate little video. But right now, that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna leave it at that. Just I'll keep rambling. Especially, are you back, man?
Maybe.
Okay. Because I heard you laugh, and then I was like, damn.
What, like earlier?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, I heard you laugh while I was talking. I was like, fuck. I really hope that's not like. Imagine if it was like just one of your like family members or something, just being like, "What the fuck is he saying?"
I would. Oh gosh.
That'd be funny, but it wasn't that.
Just my freaking brother came in. Yo, what's going on here, bro?
Yeah. Uh. Anyways, the meat and potatoes of this episode that I sent out in our talking points is quite a bit of information has come out about Thor: Love and Thunder recently. Not through footage. I hope that some of that gets released soon because that's
Yes,
probably my movie I'm the most excited for.
me as well. Cause I don't know too much about it, but I want to see some footage. You know.
I love the character of Thor in general.
Yeah.
MCU Thor right now is like to me very interesting because they saw that audiences weren't resonating with him, so they decided to kind of make him like kind of like in Ragnarok. He's kind of a cornball, for being honest. He's well, not like he's corny, but like
Yeah.
he's a goofier character in that movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, but let me ask you this: which did you prefer? Like, do you prefer how he was before, or
I
how he
prefer
was in
how he is
Red?
now, but
Sorry.
I think that I prefer how he is now. I'm not saying
Yeah.
I'm just saying like post Endgame, he's in a pretty interesting state because when we see
Yeah.
the end, he's kind of dealt with a little bit of his trauma through talking to his mother when they were time traveling.
Mm-hmm.
And he's joined up with the Guardians of the Galaxy to go around the universe and like help people, right? So when he comes back in Love and Thunder, he's going to be in a pretty interesting position. From set photos I've seen, it looks like they're kind of adapting the look of like Thunderstrike at the beginning of the movie in his Guardians of the Galaxy like attire,
Mm,
where he's in like a red like sleeveless like leather-ish looking vest and a maybe like a tank top or a t-shirt and like some blue pants. And
yeah.
then I haven't seen. What I will say is I haven't seen any set photos of what we're going to get into in a second is the mighty Thor, Jane Foster.
Mm-hmm.
But from toy leaks that I sent to specialists a while back,
Mm-hmm.
we know what she's gonna look like costume wise, and the same thing for Thor when he gets his more traditional armor later on in the film. And I gotta say, fucking, they nailed how she's supposed to look. She looks like very close
Yeah.
to how she looked in the Avengers run where she was introduced. Or not the Avengers run, the Thor run where she was introduced after Thor became unworthy of Mjolnir.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited. Um, I got a lot of speculation here that I'm going to propose to specialists and we can just talk about. I got written down. So
Okay.
one of the first things I've seen is, or the first things I thought we should talk about is how did Mjolnir find its way to Jane Foster? You know, like how did it reform after Hela, crushed it during Ragnarok, and like will they adapt that Jane Foster, while she was Thor in the comics, had cancer? Uh,
Yeah.
I think that they will, but I think the angle that they'll approach it from will be different from the comics because I think in the comics, if I let me just use Google real quick. Yeah, here. How did Jane Foster get cancer? So she had breast cancer, but uh, I don't know if it says what from. Hmm. All right. I don't know what it was from in the comics. I couldn't find it just looking at Google quickly, but I think the angle they'll approach it from in the film will probably be that like maybe from having the reality stone in her body during Thor the Dark World will have given her cancer or something.
I was
Or
gonna
like
say that seems likely because I mean, it's not healthy to have that in you, but like,
especially as like just a regular human.
yeah.
Um, like it's different if like for example, like Star Lord as a character, he's half human. He wielded the Power Stone. And he almost fucking died. And the only reason he survived that and didn't have any like real lasting effects is because he was half celestial, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Jane being a regular person and having the Reality Stone literally bond with her physical being. That has to fuck you up long term if you're just a regular
Yeah.
like human. So I think it's that. It could be that she got it from like the Bifrost because it gives like multi-spectrum energy. Probably like cosmic radiation and shit. That's like the shit that gives the Fantastic Four their powers, so like who knows?
Mm.
As for Mjolnir though, uh I feel like some like weird time travel stuff might have reformed it. Either
That's what
that
I
or like
was.
maybe the enchantment that Odin placed on it can rebuild it if it's ever destroyed or something. Because it's not like the hammer, like the pieces of the hammer were like destroyed forever or
Mhm.
whatever. Like they're still around in that spot in Norway, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you could still use the stuff. I feel like
Do you,
even if the hammer like didn't call out to Thor or something, like you know,
do you think it's possible that the dude who made Stormbreaker could have fixed it?
Eitri maybe.
Although I feel like that's a bit of a reach because somehow he would have had to fix it and then.
Well, from the toy photography that I sent you,
Yeah.
uh, there's like a Mjolnir that was included with the Mighty Thor figure that was reforming with what looked
Yeah.
like almost like yellowish looking lightning or like a yellowish cosmic looking effect. So it could be like
Ooh.
maybe a magical character like intervenes and reforms it. But
That's
Thor, at
true.
this point, because of all the shit he's gone through, maybe doesn't think he's worthy of Mjolnir anymore, which I guess kind of wouldn't make sense because he was wielding it in Endgame, but you never know what could have happened in between then and like Thor Love and Thunder. Because like taken I think the latest we've seen in the MCU timeline is probably between like Spider-Man No Way Home and like Hawkeye. So
Mm.
like who knows? You
Yeah, I
know?
don't know.
Um I got one here. So the villain of Thor Love and Thunder.
Oh.
He wasn't included in the toy leaks, but he's a very interesting character in the comics. You're gonna love this casting, by the way. His name is Gore the God Butcher.
Okay.
He is played in this film by Christian Bale. In the comics, I think he's responsible for taking Thor's arm off, like when Thor having to replace it with one of the Destroyer's arms.
Yeah.
He is a villain called the Necro Sword or All Black, or a sword called the Necro Sword or All Black, which
Mm.
notoriously belongs to the god of the symbiotes, Null. So I have speculation here that they might down the line do the King in Black storyline, where Null invades Earth and blankets it in symbiotes and enacts like a little bit of
Ooh.
darkness on it and attacks the Marvel heroes.
That'd be
Which like
crazy.
I read that recently. That shit is so cool. It was awesome. And Eddie Brock was the main character in it, but I was thinking like they could maybe repurpose it and have Spider-Man be the main guy at the center of all that.
Yeah.
Given we might see an Eddie Brock in the MCU, and I say might because like we never know if like they get Tom Hardy to play the MCU's Eddie Brock or if we get like a new actor that plays him in the MCU because like through No Way Home we've established like different people can have different faces across the multiverse. You know,
Yeah.
like there's stuff that you could do with that. Uh, I personally think that Null is a crazy villain to introduce like right now, but if they did it like down the line, or like maybe that's the next big event after like, because I think the MCU is going to be doing Secret Wars next.
Yeah.
If they did Null like after that, that would be crazy.
Oh yeah. That'd be sweet.
Hmm Another casting that's like kind of priming for, something down the line is they cast Russell Crowe as I think Zeus, which means Hercules will probably be coming down the line. He's another Marvel superhero. He's joined the Avengers and done other stuff. I don't know who they would cast to play him, but like already casting someone in the Greek pantheon means like he's coming at some point, which will be
Yeah.
pretty cool. I got one pertaining to the plot. I wrote down, will Thor be deemed unworthy of Mjolnir like in the comics? And will he lose his arm to the Necrosword and don the Destroyer arm, do you think?
I think.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he'll be deemed unworthy. I could see him losing an arm though.
Mm, I
But
could see that too.
I don't know.
I feel like the last we saw of the Destroyer, he only like busted the fucking head open. Like he didn't destroy really the whole thing. And I know that Shield got it and studied it, but like there's a chance they like it was given to Sword or something, or that like whatever remains of Shield on Earth still has the Destroyer in their possession. Realistically, if
Yeah.
he was a god, if he stormed into a government facility and just took it, they're not stopping him.
No.
I don't know. I feel like it would be cool. I like the unworthy Thor look in general, so like if they do that, cause they kind of already did with Ragnarok, but like if they go all in with this movie and he like loses an arm and he looks like unworthy Thor, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, hmm. Do I have another one here? Uh, how much do you think the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to be involved in this one?
I mean, I hope personally, I hope that they're involved a fair amount, but I could see them not being involved at all. Like I could see them doing like maybe like a short little intro as to like what happened in between
Mm-hmm.
Endgame and now, but or well, not now, but when Love and Thunder comes out. But I don't know. We'll
I
see. I
hope
hope there's a decent amount of Guardians of the Galaxy in there, but
I hope that they update us on like Quill's search for Gamora, even though they probably won't until Guardians 3, which they're filming right now. But I hope there's like even a little throwaway of Thor being like, "And you're still looking for your green girlfriend or whatever."
yeah.
Um, yeah, no, I just feel like that movie has a lot of potential to do a lot of cool shit. And I hope they do said cool shit.
Yeah.
Also, I here's a plot thread from the last couple Thor movies that like hasn't been addressed. Where the fuck is Sif? Where has she been this whole time?
Nah, it's
Warriors,
beyond me, man.
the Warriors 3 die in Ragnarok. The last time we saw Sif in a technically canon appearance was in Loki because she shows up in that little torture chamber they put him in where she beats his ass every couple minutes. But outside of that, like outside of her cameo in Loki, she hasn't appeared in an MCU film or in any sort of story since probably Thor: The Dark World. But after that, she maybe appeared in Agents of Shield a little bit. Um, but again, no movie appearances. I would imagine she was going around the universe trying to find out what the fuck happened to Asgard and was trying to find Thor
Yeah.
or like Valkyrie or just anyone that could tell her like why Asgard has been destroyed. But you never know. Um,
Yeah.
I hope she shows up in this one though.
Hopefully, man. Yeah.
Feel like she's like a character that regardless of the background you like because she's witty, she's powerful, like she does like a whole lot of cool shit in those films. She's like a dedicated warrior that like rarely needs help. She's kicking ass and taking names most of the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like she's just chilling.
Yeah, man.
Um just getting into the tiniest bit more superhero game news. Gotham Knights recently got a release date. October 25th of 2022.
Ooh.
For that, it feels like though Rocksteady, right, is working on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which is rumored to have been delayed, but that's not something I'm going to pay attention to unless they come out and they say it.
Mm.
Anyways. Yeah, no, it feels like Rocksteady and WB Games Montreal should have swapped titles. And the reason I say that is because Gotham Knights, like, if it were developed as a sequel to Batman Arkham Knight, would make perfect sense. And just getting into that, because you haven't played the Arkham games, I would assume.
No.
So at the end of Batman Arkham Knight, Batman is unmasked to all of Gotham.
Oh.
By Scarecrow, and he fakes his
Mm.
death to get out of it, like in an explosion. And then in
Jeez.
the reveal trailer for Gotham Knights, they reveal that Bruce Wayne died in an explosion. He sends a message that he had recorded to all of his allies, being like, "Hey, if you're seeing this, I'm dead. The Batcave is destroyed. Commissioner Gordon passed away, so I don't really trust the GCPD anymore. Like, you guys are kind of on your own. You'll have the Belfry to operate out of, which is like another Batman hideout. And they have Alfred, and basically the game centers around Nightwing, Batgirl, Red Hood, and the Tim Drake Robin, just defending Gotham in Batman's absence.
Ooh.
And like that title would make more sense as a sequel to Batman Arkham Knight. However, it's not that. It's set in a separate, what they call a separate Batman universe of stories.
Mm.
And I'm excited for it because I love the Bat family. I bought 2 Gotham Knights action figures recently. I'm looking at them right now because they're on my desk. I got Nightwing and Batgirl here from that game.
Mm.
But like that title would make more sense for Rocksteady to develop. However, Rocksteady's title is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and they've said that it is a continuation of the Arkham games. Which
Oh.
wigs me out, and the reason I say that is because it at the DC fandom that it was announced at in like 2020, they spoke about how like as a little bit in the reveal thing, Harley Quinn says that she can't wait to be the person that kills Batman. So I'm like, what the fuck happened in between Arkham Knight and this game that Batman is back and they can talk about him?
Oh.
As they've established, he faked his death. Everyone knows Bruce Wayne was Batman.
Yeah.
My theory is either they're gonna go the route of the comics and like he dies and Dick Grayson, who was the first Robin and is Nightwing, takes up the mantle and becomes Batman, or he'll pull an Andrew Garfield and be like, it was a Photoshop. Wasn't me. Scarecrow is very good with deep fakes. Batman is actually Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Throw Superman under the bus or something.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah, no, I just feel like Gotham Knights feels like more of a thing that Rocksteady would want to tackle than the Suicide Squad. But that game will be good regardless. I trust Rocksteady to make good games because all of the games, I've never had a bad experience playing one of their games other than like the Batmobile and Arkham Knight because it's just like excessive. But aside from that, their games are like they're pretty good. They're a good time. I find that there's not a bad time you can have engaging with their content.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for everything we talked about today,
Yeah, dude.
other than like Morbius.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to like pull Jared Leto aside, like give him like a vegan cookie or something and be like, you gotta stop.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, no, I feel like that's everything for today. We'll just wrap it up here. You know?
Alright, man. Yeah.
Uh yeah, just in summary, watch the Batman. That Wolverine show might be pretty good. You know, Miss Marvel I'm kind of cautious about.
Yeah.
Thor I'm excited for. I hope some footage comes out soon, and Suicide Squad and Gotham Knights I'm eagerly anticipating you. Rocksteady, please say something. Please. Um
Yeah. I
but
think we'll try to put out a new episode quicker.
yeah, I will aim to get this out the week we recorded it. So it's Monday the 15th or Monday. Fuck. It's Tuesday the
I was about to
15th.
say.
I'll try to get it out on Friday, hopefully.
Alright.
And then hopefully it'll be
Yeah.
another next Friday,
Hopefully. We'll see.
barring our schedules.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no. Thank you for joining us for the
Yes.
Funky Fresh Comic Show. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
we hope to see you hopefully next week.
Yeah.
Take care. Thanks for
Yeah.
listening.
Thanks.